This is a public service announcement for anybody considering joining the Magic Conch family.
Bam. Okay. Hey, Karen, how the are you?
Pretty good, Brandissimo.
Oh, good to hear. Good to hear. I mean, fucking welcome back to another episode of the Magic Conch podcast, baby. Where we're going to talk about, well, nothing. But I think like one of the last topics we haven't talked about. We've talked about pretty much everything that's ever existed on this podcast. Check it out, malumpictures.com. Check it out, the Magic Conch on Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud and whatnot. But today we're going to talk about technology. The entirety
the statistical probability of this conversation meaning anything is approximately nothing.
I've checked the math on that too. And it's true. Fucking facts. Yeah, technology. What is it good for? The destruction of the earth? Sure. But also, like...
to bring us with friends.
Yeah. Like, the amount of times I press a button and then someone shows up in front of my apartment building with food is a lot and amazing. Like, that's amazing technology. Like, imagine, like, even trying to tell someone back in the day that technology existed. Like, you press a button on this box and people show up with food. Like, you don't even have to, like, gut the thing, or, like, it fucking comes pre-gutted, pre-seasoned and shit. Comes in a nice little package. You just put it in your face. That's fucking amazing.
You can't even trust that anymore, though, man. Because, like, remember the whole Uber Eats commercials now? They're like, if I can order it, I can eat it. Right? And then it just shows someone eating a bar soap. So technology has its pros and cons. Can be inherently evil. Can be inherently amazingly evil.
Yes.
But, use it for a variety of things. You just mentioned one, right? Ordering food. I know we used to joke in the early 2010s about there being an app for that, but now there quite literally is an app for everything. So let us know in the comment section, guys, what your thoughts on technology are. What's your favorite use of technology? What do you think about technology in general? And we'll get to some really random topics here, but I just have to start just a question for you, man. Just in your daily life, what do you think the most used piece of technology is? What are you using the most?
I mean, it's definitely,
what are you using it for?
It's definitely our computers, right? That's everything.
Fleshlight.
I mean, Fleshlight's pretty top tier technology, I will say. It's like you don't even need a person to fuck. You could just fuck this little flashlight that's a fleshy material. It's pretty top tier. I think porn in general, that's just amazing technology. Like, well, how our ancestors jerked off is not how we jerk off anymore. We fucking have this magic box. Show me people fucking in literally any position I ever want to see. Bam. Got it. Lotion. Lubed up. Don't need spit. We have amazing jerk off technology, man. It's the golden age of jerking off still. It's unmatched. We're going to get into VR jerking very soon. It's already there. It's amazing. Yeah. Fucking robots soon. We're going to be fucking robots all day, baby. Damn.
Would you prefer that? Would you prefer to fuck a robot versus a person?
Probably not in general.
Would there be times where you'd rather fuck a robot than a person?
I'm sure. I'm sure. Maybe like I don't want to like maybe like I'm still single and trying to go out like I'll just fuck this robot and like eat some nuggets later. That sounds convenient for certainly in cases. I think maybe I'd prefer to fuck a robot than my hand. I could see that being a differentiator. Like hand, let's set up, let's clean up with hand, but robot, like who doesn't want to fuck a robot at least once, At least once.
That's the behind the scenes footage from iRobot you didn't see. Just at the end, Will Smith in this giant orgy with robots.
Yeah, he's the man on the hill.
I did not murder him, but I did jerk him off. And then, transitions into some really weird stuff, but I could see why they cut it from the movie. It's all right.
I would have left it in. You know what I'm saying?
I know you would have left it in. You just admitted to everybody on the internet you would have left it in.
Hell yeah, baby. I feel like most technology is probably, I feel like a lot of it, it's for the betterment of advancement of our civilization. I think it all pretty much revolves around how can we come differently. I think that's really what drives innovation. Like
anything, you're right.
Yeah, like Pornhub was like a big early adopter of like VR tech. I think they were like, all right, let's see how we can have people fuck things digitally, virtually, and then now video games adopted it more. Or it's way more VR tech.
Even
us wanting to jerk off.
Yeah, even the HD DVD versus Blu-ray war that happened. What seems like over 10 years ago now, right? Because I think it was 2006 it started. Yeah. But like the determining factor was the porn industry, right? Whatever the porn industry backs is really what the format is going to be. Now, you tell me if that's not power. I mean, pornography, I know this is the tech episode, but you're right. They go hand in hand. You can search on Google in a second anything that's sexual, and you'll get like over 1 million results. So, I mean, yes, that's probably one of the most used things we use technology for. We do always strive to find ways to give our hands a break, and I support that. But let us know, guys, what's the weirdest thing you've ever searched on the internet using technology? We'd love to hear it. Let us know. But yeah, okay. So you said obviously, which piece of technology you use the most? You said your computer, or did you say your phone?
I mean, it's all the same, really. I have like those classic posts. I have my larger screen in the background while I have my medium screen in the foreground while I look at my small screen. It's just a screen world. It's all screens everywhere. I'm surrounded by 3 screens right now, and while this little screen is down here, while I'm monitoring like 6 different windows within my screen just for this podcast. It's just, I don't know. I think so like technology I don't have that I would love to use. VR, like talked about VR a bit. I don't have VR yet. I want to fuck around with VR. I want to kill zombies and shit that are surrounding me while I like shit myself because it seems so real. That's really fun. I'm with that. I want that. Oculus, hit us up. We'll sponsor you. Sponsor us.
I would love a free headset. So yes, Oculus, please. Like or anything porn related. I mean, we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
It is a crime that we are not sponsored by porn yet. Just generic porn.
Yeah.
Like just
porn, water. Come on, someone hit us up, man.
Even conch shells. If you want, if there's a company that sells conch shells, we're your guys. All right, just hit us up.
I do want really weird sponsorship, like sponsored by Paperclip. It's just not a brand, just Paperclip. Just
exactly the paperclip industry going crazy here.
Yeah, just the concept.
Well, that's crazy though, man. Because I feel like technology. We've said this before. Its main goal is to make our lives easier, right? It's to become more efficient, and it's to give us access faster to things. But if you think about it, it always kind of contradicts itself to some sense. Like I feel like technology creates some kind of a paradox because we'll use VR technology, for instance, right? VR technology is supposed to be immersive. It's supposed to put you into these scenarios, into these interactive games, whatever. It's supposed to feel really lifelike. But if you think about it, especially with the relationship to porn, instead of experiencing that virtually, we keep trying to get more and more realistic. HD this, HD that, 4K, 8K, IRL, vid chat, whatever. Just do it in real life. Why do we keep trying to use technology to emulate life where you can just go and live it? I get it every now and then. Every now and then you don't want to deal with the whole social human interaction aspect. But like there's got to be some kind of a balance. I feel like it's very easy to overindulge in those technologies and then it begins to collapse on itself in terms of logic.
I think you severely underestimate the human need to not be around other humans a lot, like in real life. Because the beauty of just talking to someone on the phone or a video call or just texting and messaging is a perfect example because that supersedes calling people now. Because now you don't have to engage in constant communication with someone. You can send a message, go fuck off, eat a hamburger, jerk off, take a shit, and then respond to the message that they responded with from your message. That's beauty. There's no more like needed commitment to constantly be on if you have technology like messaging where you could just like say a thing, fuck off, you come back, you're recharged, you're ready to say another thing. Or like video games and stuff. Like for us to play video games in real life would take like 2 of flights across the country for us to meet up and play a video game. And I feel like, yeah, people, you have college friends, they move elsewhere, people, have jobs in different towns and shit. So that's the only way we can communicate at that point. Versus trying to oh, well, we can hang out in 6 months. I'll see you then.
I do like the example of using video games in that one because that's probably one of the best ways to use immersive technology, because obviously things like GTA, you could go out and mass murder people with a rocket launcher, or you could do it using technology.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, do it in GTA. That's my recommendation for sure.
Exactly. So yeah, there are certain things I think it's helpful for, but if you think of social media, right? Social media is supposed to help us feel connected, talk to our friends, whatever. Social media makes this stream possible. It makes everything we do possible. But at the same time, sometimes it makes you feel isolated, right? It makes you feel detached, maybe a little bit numb to human experiences. What's your opinion on that? Have you ever experienced something like that before?
I think you and I have similar uses of social media, which is we're not really that active. You might post something a couple times a year. I'll post something once every 3.5 years at this point. So my friends who are active, I appreciate it because I don't know what they're doing a lot of times. So I'll just say, oh, cool, that person's had a baby. I would not have known that. I don't talk to them enough. Cool that I know that. Maybe I'll send them a little message or something like that. So I'm not really my problem with social media is that it's obviously the non-productive part of it of I love memes. I got to figure out what the next meme is. So I got to scroll on Instagram at least 3.5 hours a day to figure out all the memes that are popping off. So you can get lost in it, but it's the same way you get lost in television, or movies. It's the same thing. You're just looking for entertainment value. You can get it through watching posts, or you can get it through binging Ozark. I feel like it's the same pros and cons of anything. Yeah, you do it too much, then it might be a bit of a problem, but I don't know, titties, memes, TV shows, they're all just entertainment value in that context of I just want to have fun for these 3 to 6 hours, depending on how long you binge TV or jerk off. So
I do them all at once simultaneously. That's right, because if I can't jerk off, order my food, and take a shit at the same time, then technology has failed me.
That's fair. And what better way to watch Ozark than jerking off for 6 hours while binging the entirety of Ozark?
Exactly. Exactly. I was joking about this the other day with my girlfriend, but it's actually really true. I have become so integrated with everything that is technology that I find it hard to not be productive. Because technology has made us so efficient, it has made our lives so easy, I cannot justify doing anything in my life anymore without it being somehow associated with technology and productivity. And again, I don't know if that has to do with our American capitalist, kind of programming as well.
Is.
But, I was joking with her. I'm like, man, back in the day, I used to be able to just sit and play a video game, or I used to be able to just sit and watch a TV show. And now I have to justify doing those things. Otherwise, I feel really terrible that I'm being lazy. And thank God you and I have podcasts and we can play video games and we can stream. We found ways to make that possible for ourselves. But before, it used to leave me so upset. And I joked with her. I was just like, you know what? Now I can play video games. I can watch these movies. I can justify going to the movies and watching this thing because I know I'll talk about it with everybody here on Twitch or on YouTube or wherever. And even when I sleep, I have found a way to optimize sleep. Damn it, if I can't find a way to overcome sleep, I will find a way to optimize it. And now, right, just with investments or mining technology for cryptocurrency, we have found ways to even make money in our sleep, which is amazing. It's an amazing fucking feeling. But you know what? It's also scary to think about, just how plugged in we are on the daily basis. I mean, I bet you if we were to keep track of how many times we checked our phone a day, just checked it, open up the home screen, whatever, it would easily be over, I want to say, about 200 times a day, right? So sometimes, I mean, we've gotten to the point where we don't even think about it anymore. We use technology so much that it's just an afterthought, right?
Oh, yeah.
You don't even.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
fully integrated. Like literally, we will never go backwards in technology unless some apocalyptic shit is happening. Like, and like you're mentioning, we can be so productive now because of technology. And yeah, it's weird because it's definitely a culture issue. I think it's mostly a culture issue where we feel like we should be doing something, we should be profiting over something we're doing. So it's definitely like a cultural flaw we're dealing with. But I do the same thing. Like, we do the film podcast, After the Act podcast, and I'm like, yeah, I could binge all these. I could watch all these movies in a week. I got a unlimited Regal pass to watch all these movies a month. But yeah, I'm just absorbing content for the podcast, or make music with my friend Mike, and so we're doing some Doughboy shit. And I'm like, well, of course we're gonna go to brunch because we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do. We're getting in the mood. We're usually a little bit high, a little bit drunk, a lot of bit high, a lot of bit drunk before we, make music. So of course I gotta get high and drunk. I'm trying to make some music here. And video games, the same thing. Like, well, I gotta check out this new video game so we can stream it on the podcast. So it feels weird. We're trying to justify the fun we want to have, anyways. Even though if we just like shut off the cameras and shit, we would have fun. But then the culture bug would be like, but you're not making fucking money off this, bro. Where the money at? So I'm 100% with you there. And I feel like it's going to get quote unquote worse only because that culture plus advancement in technology will be doing work in the car when it's self-driving us to wherever else we need to go. Like, cross-country road trip, might get a stream in the middle while I'm on a fucking 990 or some shit. So it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, and our generation, right, because we're millennials, so we grew up with the inception of, like, advancing technology, right? The dot-com boom of the 90s, the internet craze of the 90s. Like, that was our generation. So it's always interesting to see people's relationship with technology. And again, let us know, guys, in the comment section what your relationship with technology is. But it's always unique, I think, per generation. Because if you look at us, right, we saw it right when dial-up was a thing, right? We predate memes, right? Some of us used to still say memes. Like, what's a meme? Ha ha ha. It's a meme now. Like, no one would even think of saying that incorrectly. But, that just shows the progression of how people adapt to technology. So if you look at like baby boomers or Gen Xers or whatever, right? Their relationship with technology is so different. Like, my girlfriend's parents, they're from that baby boomer era, that Gen X era. And for them, they're happy this is true, they still use like 2G network internet.
The fuck?
Like, it's crazy. It hasn't been useful since like 2009, but it works for them. They just care about being able to check their emails.
It's good enough.
Search on the internet. And that's it. Like, everything else is straightforward in their house. All they do is they still watch DVDs, VHS tapes, right? They still order a cable box, right? When did you think, back when you were a kid, right, pay-per-view days, that a cable box would be an antiquated piece of technology? But it is now, because everything is streamed and instantly available for your viewing pleasure. So, again, let us know your generation. Let us know your relationship with tech, but it is different. I mean, do you feel like it's the same with your parents? Like, is their relationship with technology vastly different?
Obviously. That's like, I think it's like 90% of that generation. And there's plenty of people who adapted, but like, it's interesting because I can relate to the whole good enough, because I'm like that with my phone. I can keep my phone for like 5 years at a time, because it's rare these days that a phone does something so different than another phone did in the previous generation that I need to get that new phone. Like, it's usually camera quality and battery life at that point are the hooks that could get me. And even then, it's like, it's fine. Like, I take like 7 pictures a year. I don't really need that advanced camera right now. But yeah, it's like my parents, like, so I'm the keeper of the streams. I'm not on anyone else's password for the stream. I keep them all and I give them to who was deserving. So like, my mom has I'm Stream King. So my mom has all my like passwords on my stream stuff, and she loves it because before she would, watch like Univision a lot, like cable stuff. But she's completely immersed in like the whole, she could watch any of her novellas on a certain platform. She pretty much have it. She has access to every platform. So she goes home and she just puts on Netflix or Hulu or HBO Max or Disney Plus or whatever else, because she doesn't need to wait 8:30 p.m. to watch her novellas or anything like that. So I don't know. It's weird because I remember like being babysitted by my grandmother, and she'd have like 7 different VHSs that I would do in rotation when she's babysitting me. So I've watched Deep Blue Sea, 1989's The Batman, Bride of Chucky, like so many times because that was part of her collection of VHSs she had. Now it's just
How old were you when you were watching Bride of Chucky?
As young as when it came out, for sure.
Nice.
Yep. Parents don't know what's on that thing. But it's great. Like,
opinions are so different. I mean, not you and I, but like what people consider acceptable now versus back then. Oh my God. I mean, vastly different. Here you got kids watching Coco Melon and Paw Patrol and shit. Back then it was just like that, man. You would just like, you'd go in your parents' stash of VHS tapes and you would just watch whatever the hell you wanted. Bride of Chucky. What was a super inappropriate one? I mean, Ren and Stimpy somehow
I watched
was
Booty
on
Call as a kid. Remember that movie, Booty Call? That comedy. It's definitely the same now. Like, I don't have kids. I don't know it too well, but like it's easier for them to watch that fucked up stuff. So I assume they're watching worse stuff than what we watched as a kid. We relied on VHS tapes. They have fucking they can watch literally anything they want, anytime they want. So and a lot of them have like kind of like the Gen X parents or like closer to older millennial, so they might not know how to block it all. It'll be interesting if like our generation, when they start having kids, I guess people do have babies now, but
it does happen.
Like the battle of parental control configurations, because we know more than our parents did on how to stop us from watching some freaky shit, but they're going to know even more than we know right now. So it's going to be an interesting war of censorship in a household.
That's true. And speaking of technology that's older, man, I'm thinking back, and you can almost see, there's like a pattern that emerges when you look at technology, right? In the 80s, you had the dawn of the first cell phones, right? They looked like big bricks, right? You look at the original Game Boy, it looked like a brick. And then as the decades progressed, things got smaller and smaller and smaller and more efficient, right? To the point where we had things like the Razor, we had those iPod Nanos. Everything just had to be smaller and smaller, right? I think even the movie Zoolander makes fun of it when he pulls out his tiny little cell phone. And that was back in 1990, I think 9 when that movie came out. And then I'm seeing like this pattern emerging again where it's just kind of doing a parabola, right? Everything needs to be smaller, and now we're going back up to being bigger, bigger, and bigger, right? We have XL phones. We have tablets now.
Yeah, my phone is big as shit. This is a big ass phone.
I know. It's like back in the day that would have looked so old techie, right? Like that would have been looked ancient because it was so big. But now that's the craze, right? We want to get bigger again. So, I mean, you even noticed it with gaming consoles. You would start off with the PS2, but then there'd be like PS2 Slim, and then you'd have the PS3 and then the PS3 Slim. So, I mean, I feel like there's this weird pattern going on with tech too that some people don't really see, but it happens.
Yeah, and it's you're trying to fit as many things into a device as possible. So with these will be smaller eventually, I'm sure. But also it's like people appreciate a good screen size, so they're trying to balance that kind of thing. So what's your favorite notable old piece of tech you still use? Because mine is
floppy disk, hands down.
Floppy disk? Do you still use a floppy disk, or do you just like you appreciate floppy disk?
I just appreciate floppy disks, man, because they could hold maybe a picture nowadays, like not even a picture. I think 5 megabytes was the limit on floppy disks, but that was like during the beginning of tech, in the 80s. People would find ways to play games on floppy disks, and they didn't have these amazing graphics, but it'd be like a choose your own adventure thing. Like a line of text appears and it says, do you open the door? Do you not open the door? Yes or no? And it's very D&D-esque. But I just appreciate how people could have so much fun with so little back then. I mean, I couldn't do it nowadays, but it's like, to me, it's impressive. It's impressive. How about you?
I want to see us try to fit GTA 6 on a floppy disk when that comes out.
How many would it take?
That's what I want to see, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do like the aesthetic of a floppy disk. There's something just about plastic card, inserting it in. It's we still use that as the save button. It's the floppy disk, younger folks. That's what it is. That's the save button. That's how we saved everything. Remember memory cards? Remember that shit? We had to put memory cards in consoles.
Memory cards were the truth.
That was the whole thing.
If you lost a memory card, your life was over.
Yeah, it's like you lost memory. It's literally everything was in there. I had like the wrestler Goldberg as a memory card, so it was like him with a championship belt, but he was a memory card. I was like, this is cool. You can't do that now with storage systems. It just exists. It's in the cloud.
That's the next niche market, right? You sell SSD cards, or HDD cards, whatever type of external or internal storage you want, but they have images on them. And it could be Goldberg, it could be Whoopi Goldberg, whatever.
Any of the Goldbergs, really.
Any of the Goldbergs.
I think one of my floppy disks, that's a good one. My favorite old piece of technology that I also still use, Game Boy Advance. I still use my Game Boy Advance. And there's like emulators and shit, but like I still have it. It still works. And it's just, it got me young. So I still play like fucking Pokemon Emerald on my Game Boy Advance, like at least once a year. I'll just take it out and play it. And it's still weird because then I'll have to remember that shit needs batteries. So that's the only time I need batteries is when I'm doing my nostalgic Game Boy Advance play. But it's just, I love it. It's like the transparent Game Boy Advance too, so you can see all the intricacies inside. It's missing the back cover, so I can feel the batteries as I'm playing. And you got to watch the little light battery. It's I love it all. I still love it.
It slightly turns red, like it flashes between red and green.
Yeah,
you're like, oh shit, the end is near. Yeah,
you can literally determine the brightness of red. Like you actually know how bright red was playing that.
That's how I learned my color hues, man. I would have never passed art school
if
it wasn't for my Game Boy Advance. But you know what? You're absolutely right on that. And I do want to do an episode on video games, so I will save most of this conversation for that future episode.
That'd be a good one. Yeah.
But yeah, it's strange that we still like there's certain pieces of technology that it baffles me that we haven't found a way beyond them. Right? One of them is batteries, right? It feels so strange to me when I have to replace a battery on something because I'm like, wait, I can't just plug in a USB and have it be powered.
Yeah, like remote controls. Power. That's like all my remote controls, I'm pretty sure, still have batteries.
I remember when wireless controllers first came out. I was like, oh my God, this is a shit. This is amazing. And now it's just assumed. Like if something doesn't have the ability to charge and be wireless, I'm like, when did this get released? This is like from the early 2000s. Like what the hell is this? Get this out of my face.
Fuck's these wires, motherfucker. I mean, I'm looking around and I have a lot of wires and I'm mad because everything's plugged into my computer. Like, why don't you just connect to it? Just speak to it.
But like there's still random stuff that needs batteries, like fire detectors. Amazon Fire Stick remotes still need batteries. Don't even get me started on like garage openers and stuff like that. They still use batteries. So whenever I come across situations where I still need old pieces of tech like that, I'm like, how have we not evolved beyond this yet? Like I don't get it. I mean, printers. Why do we still need printers?
Printers, that's a good one. I'm sure there's some top-notch printers. I've not seen one ever. Every time I need to print something, I'm pissed off because I refuse to invest in a printer. Yet I need it at least a couple of times for like very important documents, like renewing my passport or some shit. I'm like, I gotta go to fucking a UPS store to print shit. What the fuck is this? What? No.
Exactly. Yeah, and it just makes no sense because printers, no matter how nice of a printer you buy, I've learned this the hard way, right? I don't buy expensive printers anymore, right? Because they'll try to sell you up on all these features. Oh my God, it's Bluetooth wireless. It's got this awesome color inkjet, right? It can use X amount of colors. It's beautiful. It's fucking gorgeous. It'll do your laundry for you. And then it still breaks in like 3 months, right? So to me, printers are a piece of technology that we're forced to still need because we still need physical copies of things for some reason. And no matter how many times you buy it, it all breaks the same way. It's probably one of the most infuriating pieces of technology that we're still forced to use today. I mean, it's almost like that movie Office Space, right? Insert clip here of Like PC load letter. What the fuck does that mean? Right? Because that's what printers do. They come up with these random errors. They don't make any sense. We don't need them. All right. That's the moral to this episode. Let's get behind the revolution. We don't need printers anymore. All right. Just start using everything digitally. Stop being fucking pussies about it. Leave your printer to die. Okay?
I agree. I feel like it's like the institutions of like documents we need that still require all these paper shit, like all the things we need to get a new driver license or a passport or registration of your vehicle still involves two things: physical documents and then going in physically to get the thing. It's like, stop it. This is 2022. I'm 30 years old, born in the early 90s. I don't want to see you in person or print a thing. That we hate those two things the most in real life and physical copies of anything. Update your system. God damn it.
Exactly. We don't even use physical copies for video games anymore. Why do we still need it for, this document I have to fill out and put my social security number on? So I hate that. Another thing that's like a unicorn for me, and you can actually tell us in the comment section what's the most random piece of technology that's ancient that you still see on the everyday basis. We actually really, really like to know. But for me, I still come across payphones every now and then, and it blows my mind, right? Because everyone has a cell phone. Why would you ever need a payphone now? Like, you can even bring a USB charger. You can charge things in your car. You can charge things wirelessly. We can charge by harnessing the power of the sun. Okay, why on earth do we still have payphones? And they still exist. I've seen them in a few places. You have too, Randissimo.
Oh yeah, couple. Like, I think once a year I'll see a payphone. Like, oh wow, that's like seeing an old person. Like, hey, good for you, you made it. Good for you.
So it's only a matter of time, right, before your end is near. I say that to every payphone I encounter. But here's the even worse part. It needs change that we don't use anymore, because no one carries around change anymore. I don't carry around change anymore. I think it's weird when I see people still have change. And even then, like, you would still need a quarter. Like, it's always a very precise amount, which is just baffling to me. So yeah, change is the oldest piece of technology that we don't need anymore and somehow still need to use every now and then. Use credit cards, use debit cards, write a check, right? I'll even support writing a check over carrying change. All right, so bizarro to me. But what about you, man? Like, what's an old piece of technology that you still see out there that just baffles you and why people still use it?
That I am fucking in the line waiting for a drink, and I'm like, I can order a fucking drone strike through my phone. I can't order a screwdriver at this club right now. I don't understand. Don't get it. Makes no sense to me. Not a fan. But we're still going through that. Like, we're still going through the whole, well, I guess I'll just wait 10 minutes while people are hotter than me get a drink before me, when clearly I could just press a fucking button and get a drink. So when we do buy our bar, the Conch lounge or some shit, that's like the first thing I'm doing is apps.
Well, the first thing we're doing is we're going to sell people alcohol in conches, like actual conches.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the key move right there. But yeah, then that, yeah, for sure. It kind of reminds me of this movie, Night at the Roxbury, which I know you hate, but there is an interesting concept.
I don't hate it. It's just problematic at this point.
Okay. Didn't age well.
No,
Didn't age well.
No, it did not.
There's this one portion of the movie where they're talking about how, very similar to what you were saying, waiting in line to get in clubs is the worst experience because you're not doing anything. You're just waiting outside, hoping you can get in and then have fun. But they were like, what if we make the inside of the club the outside? People in the waiting line being able to order drinks and there's music playing still. But then when you get on the inside, it's like the outside, and you'll have stop signs and traffic lights and all this other stuff. And you know what? That's actually not a bad idea.
I like the first half of it.
Yeah.
First half of it's dope. Like, if you have to stand in line, it's somehow like covered so you're not drinking outside. And that'd be amazing. Yeah, let's just start. Why are we on this podcast? Let's get that going right now.
Yeah, just that's the point of tech, right? To just cure inefficiency. Waiting and then nothing coming of it for just waiting's sake is the worst. Let's fix that, people. All right.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think smart toilets are amazing. They should do more with smart toilets, right? I don't want them to just automatically know my best features or the right angle to spray my ass and clean my ass when I'm done using the bathroom. I want more, man. I want like a heated seat. I want it to talk to me. I want it to like.
Oh, you want the super toilet? You want the super toilet?
I want the super toilet. I want it to tell me how my investments are doing in the moment I'm taking a shit. Like that's what I want. Okay, I want it to read me a soothing story when I'm feeling nauseated. You know, I want it to have all the bells and whistles. I am amazed we haven't done more shit with the things we use to take a shit.
Like you could listen to your podcast from your toilet too, you know? Like everyone brings in their phone while they're shitting. Every single person that exists who has a phone and has a toilet of access does both at the same time. We gotta combine it. Gotta combine it. You want your favorite podcast, just hit the thing next to the flush. Or it can like somehow project in front of you a screen so you can watch like an episode of regular show while you're dropping a deuce. That's clearly the future. That should be the present.
It's like that scene in Zack and Miri Make a Porno where Craig Robinson's just like, I want a TV in my bathroom because I've always wanted to watch shit while taking a shit. And Seth Rogen's like, yeah, absolutely. Everyone deserves that, man. I want that for you. It's like, it's a great idea.
Yeah. That's what I want all the time. Like showers, I'm singing and shit. I want to be able to watch a concert. Wow. I want it to look like I'm actually at a concert, but naked for some reason while in my shower and I'm singing. And then all the avatars are like, woo. That's what I want to do. That's how I feel like I'm doing anyways when I'm in the shower for way too long.
Yeah. Like, showering, being able to have like smart glass projecting like content at you while you're showering. Or let's say you have to use a public bathroom, right? You could have monitors on the front stalls or smart doors where you can see, like, let's say you're at a racetrack, you could see the race as you're shitting.
Yeah.
Or you're at the movies, right? You're at the movies. Maybe you can keep up with the movie so you don't waste time going to the bathroom.
Dude, I've always wanted that. I want every theater to have its own little bathroom. And then that way you have to go into that theater to watch it anyways. I've always wanted that.
I know.
Damn.
People don't think of these things, man. They don't fucking think of these things.
But we think about them every day. That's why with your help and making us really rich and or famous, we'll be able to invest in all these things. We will make your lives better if elected. Yes, your shits, your shower jerks, they're all going to be optimized across the board. And we're bringing back floppy disks just for the hell of it.
Golden floppy disks with like the Goldberg edition.
Yes.
Floppy disks.
Exactly. Yeah. And when I drop my first album, you'll be able to watch or listen to the first 5 seconds of the song through our exclusive Doughboy floppy disk. So look out for that too.
There it is. See, everyone's releasing, being a hipster, releasing on USB drives, right? At concerts, just throwing them in the crowd. We're doing fucking floppy disks.
Floppy disks.
That's what we're doing.
And throwing plastic at you.
Like, I don't even know how to play this. Figure it out.
There's not a single computer I've seen that has that insert available. But you know, then we'll be selling fucking PCs with floppy disks and fucking CD-ROMs. We'll have CD-ROMs too.
Yeah. Exactly. It's interesting to me too, because I know we've talked about the evolution of technology, right? But I feel like in the last 10 years things have gone into hyperdrive, right? You know, then it took at least a decade, maybe a little bit longer, to see some really great innovations in things, especially with media. But now I feel like you said, there's a new phone being churned out every other month, it seems, right? And there's really no difference. They're all highly optimized. You have the power of human knowledge at the tip of your fingers, right? Instantaneously have access to anything. But I mean, I don't even know if we can increase the rate at which we're improving at this point. Or do you think we've reached a limit? And like you said, with phones, there's just really no difference. Oh, the headphone jack is now on the bottom instead of the top. But next year it's going to be on the side, and we're going to add another camera lens. That's how we'll get them.
Well, what was new to me? They got rid of the headphone jack when I got my new phone. I didn't realize that happened in the last 5 years. There's no more jack. It's jackless.
Bruh, that's real. I was in my girlfriend's car the other day, and she has an aux cord, right? Talking about old piece of technology. She has an aux cord.
That's the aux.
Like,
Let's go.
exactly. So shout out to all the aux DJs out there. She passes me the aux cord and she's like, "Here, play music from your phone." I'm like, "All right, bet." And then I look at my phone and I'm like, I don't have a headphone jack. And we just shared this like collective moment of awe and also confusion because we're like, you don't plug things into phones anymore. It's all wireless. Like, oh my God.
Future.
Exactly. Even charging is wireless now. So we've really come to a point where maybe it's like the movie Tron, right? Where they just release the operating system every year and there's really no difference. Maybe that's our lives now. Maybe we've just reached the peak of human technology and we're not going to see much of a difference at this point.
I mean, I feel like what I want to see next in human technology advancements, I want to be able to opt in just to be a fucking cyborg if I want to, like at a more reasonable price right now. We still have to figure out healthcare and shit. But
you want to be RoboCop. That's what you want to
I want to be RoboCop. I want to be Cyborg from fucking Justice League. I want to have like a fucking bionic eye where I can like fucking film things here just regularly. I want the fucking contact lens that Bruce Wayne has in the Batman.
You want,
but as just my eye. Yeah, I just want to be able to like speak, like call Alex, and then out of my fucking glasses you pop up right here. Like I want that to be more. I want to be able to shoot lasers. Okay, I want laser technology from my body. I want to be able to fucking shit lightning and piss lasers. That's what I want next.
You want automated control of your boners, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Which
like, boom,
they do have. I've written some blogs about it at my old job. They do have fucking like erectile penile insertions where they can pretty much give you a cyber dick and then you like press some kind of like button and then it'll make you have a boner. So I'm just saying like penis technology is getting better. Hopefully vagina technology is getting better. I don't know. But so, that's what we need. We want cyber body parts starting with the penis. Work your way up.
So that's the future then, right? Body modifications, right? We've already upgraded everything else to the max. Now we have to upgrade ourselves to the max.
Yeah,
it's like
our bodies. I hate our bodies. Why?
Upgrade your gray matter.
Yeah. One day it may matter. Like our balls and dicks are so vulnerable. They're just out there. There's no like armadillo shell or something over it. I don't want to wait for evolution. Let's fucking do it.
Not like Lady in the Water.
Exactly. Shape of Water, whatever. I want that too. I want cyber dick, cyber eyes, cyber nipples. I want these nipples to actually to be buttons.
Bruh.
Yeah,
like in Austin Powers, they had machine gun nipples.
Yeah.
Right? It's like came out.
Same with what was that? Wild Wild West. Will Smith shot him up with them. Yeah. Put bullets in the nipples. Do something with them. They're just there. Sometimes they feel good if you pinch them. It's not much. Like, so that's what I want next. What about you, man? What are you feeling?
I like body modification. I think that's a good idea, especially if you guys haven't seen the show Black Mirror. That's kind of like the bread and butter of that show. You can watch it on Netflix. Not sponsored by Black Mirror, but since we gave a shout out, maybe you should send us some money, you assholes.
Yeah,
you're welcome. But it deals with like the dark parts of technology and how technology can be used for great evil or great good. It really just kind of shows you what the future could be. I'm still waiting though on something really simple, man. We're starting to see it a little bit more with self-driving cars, but I want fucking flying cars. I feel like movies and TV shows back in the day, even now, they have this very elaborate portrayal of the future, right? They show cars flying around. They have people using hoverboards, exactly, jetpacks, all that shit. I know jetpacks exist now, but like not everyone has them. It's like
you don't have the infrastructure built in yet, and it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's just one big lie. So that's what I want to see. I think it's time if we get rid of printers, stop inventing new printers, take that energy and put it towards flying cars. We need flying cars at this point. Stop fucking around with a drone. Exactly. Stop fucking around with drones and make a flying car. It's time, people. If they were guessing this shit in 1980 whatever in Back to the Future, I think it's time. All right? If we can start making field trips to the moon with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, we can make a flying car. All right, so let's get off our asses and let's go make it happen. Okay, it's flying car time, 2023. Let's go. Let's
That's
get
true. We're almost caught up. Like, there's so many old shows and movies where it's like the year insert. Like, we've already passed the Back to the Future date of like 2015. We're coming up to iRobot years. I think that was like in the 2030s, like Chicago 2030s. Yeah. They were on like their 5th model of personal slave robot. So I'm like, well, we don't have any of that. Where's our robot revolution?
Exactly.
Where what Roombas are going to take it up? No, stupid ass Roombas.
Bro, first of all, Roombas, that's a sad existence. I feel bad for Roombas. All right. It wouldn't surprise me if one day Roombas rise up and fight against humanity.
I'd love that.
Yeah. Just like, can you imagine that? Yeah. Humanity just like back in colonial times lining up, and there's just a bunch of Roombas over here. It's really epic. It's like
Skynet, tension. Terminator, Judgment Day, but with Roombas. Only Roombas.
Exactly. He's like, charge! Wait, and then he shows you epically running, but the Roombas are just like...
How many Roombas do you think you can take before they finally overtake you?
Oh, man, at least 3. I don't know if I can take more than 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah, if they have like motivation, like they have the righteous side on their side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say like 7. I'll say like 7 before like one gets under my foot. Like I slip, oh God, and then just start fucking hitting me in my dome. Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad though. That's a dope story in like the afterlife. Like, how'd you die? Fucking got killed by my vacuum. My room was just tired of my shit, and rightly so. For too long, it was like vacuuming up my used condoms and dirt. So like, I get it. That's hilarious though.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with the Roomba revolution.
One of the oldest pieces of technology, I feel like video, right? Video always has to get clearer and clearer and clearer. I think we're up to 8K now. Some cameras have the capability of going up to something absurd like 32K, something ridiculous. But I feel like audio, like printers, tends to be pretty steady. Like audio technology doesn't really change.
Yeah.
And people still listen to vinyl records, right? That's like it still sounds great to listen to vinyl. CDs, stuff like that. People still use that. I even know people who still have 8-track cassettes. So like, and Regular Show has this great episode about old technology where they have like Laserdisc getting into the format wars with other things like Blu-ray and stuff like that. But yeah, audio technology, I think peaked like 40 years ago, and it has not advanced. They just chilling. Or it doesn't need to.
They just chilling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and it's interesting because think about it. People viewing at home, you could easily put up with bad video but great audio. But if you hear any kind of like graininess or pops or anything like that in audio, you get turned off by the content. So it's very strange how we're still audio based, but that technology just hasn't really done anything since like I want to say 2010 when people tried to make HD radio a thing. Do you share that same opinion?
Yeah, it's like even like the sound mixers we use to like film something. A lot of them are years old and they're still good. They can still mix well. Which I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I feel like I don't know. Maybe you can wireless more audio tech. There's a lot of wires still involved, so maybe that's the next thing. Just being able to use a sound mixer a little bit more efficiently. But I feel like the next wave isn't like, all right, let's get like 12K visions or whatnot. It's definitely like how to make virtual games not shitty looking, like they sound good because the audio's good, but the visuals are still like, the visuals are back to 8-bit and like virtual shit.
Mobile games used to be shitty, remember? And then they like became amazing. So I can see that happening for, what you're talking about.
Yeah, like Oculus looks pretty good, but it's like, it's not like playing a new PS5 Spider-Man game. It's trying to get there. It's trying to get there.
Exactly. But yeah, older pieces of technology. Let us know which ones you like, guys. Where do you want to see those things going? To me, PlayStation 2 and Windows XP still reign supreme. Shout outs to them. eBay is still around. Can you believe eBay is still around, man? That's crazy. But really the last thing I want to end this episode on is our predicting abilities, right? Because movies and TV shows do this shit all the time. in 10 years, what do you think the most amazing thing we're going to do with technology is going to be? Like, what's going to be the greatest innovation?
In 10 years, which doesn't even feel like a long time at that point. I think we'll just get like augmented games even better. You know, like Pokemon Go popped off like 4 or 5 years ago. It was still cool to be able to see like, oh, like I'm at a park I usually go to and there's like a little Pikachu there. Boop. I think augmented reality might get a little crazy. Might get really crazy. It's like you can't tell what's not a titty and what is a titty when augmented reality does its thing. Like that cake show where everything's a cake. It'd be like that, but with augmented titties. So that's happening.
It doesn't matter because they're still going to feel like a bag of sand.
Exactly,
But
as titties feel like. Yeah.
exactly. Augmented reality is dope. I love augmented reality, the concept of it. And that's because I'm a huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan, right? To all my Yu-Gi-Oh fellow lovers out there,
Dual
the
discs,
fact
let's
that
go,
you
baby.
can exactly. Why do we not have dual discs yet? I mean, come on, people. Really? Like, I want a dual disc. I want to be able to put a card. It doesn't even have to be Yu-Gi-Oh. It could be any game. Augmented reality games need to be a thing because that would just be dope. Can you just imagine,
Yeah,
like,
to that
anywhere at
level.
any time? Yeah, exactly. Just
Yeah,
like
fucking
summon a
dragging on Main Street, like, oh shit, they dueling, let's go. I'd get back into Yu-Gi-Oh if they start doing that. I'd get back into it.
Yeah, like Dungeons and Dragons, one of the oldest games of our time,
Yeah,
right? If you
still
mix
popping.
that with augmented reality, you are just like cooking with coal on that one. Like you are just gonna have so much fun. So I think we find a way to make innovations. I hope we find a way to make innovations with augmented reality. And in 10 years, I do see us perfecting like electric cars. I think electric cars will be a huge norm. We're gonna slowly pull away from fuel use,
Hopefully.
or non-fuel efficient cars. But I think electric cars will be a staple in 10 years. Is my guess.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
That all seems dope. Need to fix the goddamn infrastructure so we can have it more easily. But
Exactly.
yeah,
Let us
dual
know, guys.
disc and electric cars. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, let us know. What are your predictions for the future? Is it better fleshlights? Is it better sex toys? Is it better porn? More immersive porn?
Cyber eyes.
Right? Cyber eyes, cyber dicks, robococks, you name it.
Super toilet.
You tell us. We want to know. And why do we want to know, Randissimo?
Well, it's because you're able to watch this podcast, the Magic Conch podcast, on Twitch. You're watching it on YouTube later. You listen to it on fucking Spotify, SoundCloud. That's how we're able to connect to you through these beautiful pieces of platform. And hey, we even have a website, thanks to technology, malumpictures.com, where you can find all of our work there. Tune in tomorrow where we'll be playing some sort of multiplayer game. Will it be scary? Probably. But you guys will be able to watch it because we have the technology able to support us playing those games. So we love you. Subscribe on Twitch. Subscribe on YouTube. Malum Pictures, baby. See you in the future.
Until then, take care. We love you. Peace.
Anyways, that's all the time we have for today. But if you decided you still want to be calcium with us, then tune in every Sunday and listen to a bunch of grown-ass men talk about absolutely
nothing.
Bye-bye now. Subscribe today.